they're just really looking forward to raising their family normally without all the media and everything. They appreciate all the interest and everything, but I think, you know, when it really comes down to it, they're going to just be ready to settle down and get on with life. And
good evening, everybody. I'm Jeff Passelt. And first on 9, the McCoy septuplets are 1 day old and still one amazing story.
The whole world is watching the Iowa 7 in Des Moines tonight. So let's go and get the latest from Doug Starter outside the hospital.
Robin, there is some encouraging news for the McCoy family tonight. While all 7 of their infants still remain in serious condition, there is some optimism from the doctors, as well as they're very excited about their prospects for the future. Now, on top of that good news, there's been an amazing outpouring of support from the community, which is helping ease the burden brought on by these historic septuplets. The septuplets spent their first day of their young lives resting in the quiet comfort of their hospital beds and on the road to recovery. Doctors say all 7 infants are doing better than anyone expected following the rare and high-risk pregnancy.
We're very encouraged at the start that they're off to and the progress that they have made.
And for the first time since Bobby McCoy and her husband Kenny made history with the birth of their septuplets, today Kenny spoke to the public and revealed his reaction when he learned that his wife was expecting not 1, but 7 babies.
Just, whoa, basically. But after the first initial shock, I just knew that God would provide.
And the McCoy family is getting plenty of help providing for their new youngsters, thanks to an outpouring of community support. So far, donations for the family have ranged from a new house to groceries and diapers and a brand new van built to carry a family of 15.
Got enough room, Kenny?
Someday.
Gonna be roomy?
Oh, yeah.
In the months leading up to the birth, the 3,400 residents of Carlisle, Iowa, the McCoys' hometown, kept the septuplets a closely guarded secret. But now that the 7 new residents have finally arrived, the community is rolling out the red carpet. Downtown businesses are lined with signs welcoming the McCoy 7. Banks have set up trust accounts, and their neighbors are already lining up to help the family when they come home. From the McCoy family, the community response has been overwhelming. If it takes a village to raise a child, this community is prepared to help raise 7.
Yes, the family's pulling together, the church family's pulling together, the community is pulling together on this. And that's another thing I'm so grateful for. We have seen such a sense of community surrounding us.
Saying to Carlisle just to thank you, and that this town's considered a big family. So. How about the name?
And that support is extending all the way to the nation's White House. Earlier today, President Clinton gave the McCoy family a congratulations call on the birth of their 7 children, even invited the family out to the White House for a guided tour. But before that can happen, the concern is still here with these young children. The next 4 or 5 days are very critical to the health of these young kids. As long as they can make it through that time period without any more complications developing, there's a good chance that they could be going home as soon as late July. That is when they were originally expected to arrive had they fulfilled that 9-month period. So they won't be going home for Christmas, but there's a good chance just the fact that they will be going home will be a Christmas present in itself. Robin?
Doug, any more word on their medical condition? You told us yesterday that they were upgraded from critical to serious condition. Any word today?
Yeah, one of the youngsters yesterday, as we mentioned, was in a critical condition. He was the only one. There was some bleeding and concerns about that. They had that treated, and he seems to be responding well. Now they're all in serious condition, which is typical for premature babies like this. That's not any kind of surprise, and what they're encouraged by is that they haven't developed into anything since then and haven't had to be downgraded. As long as that continues for the next 4 or 5 days, their chances are very good.
Okay, and I want to make sure the babies are coming home in January.
Most likely, again, if they don't, as long as they don't develop any complications within the next 4 or 5 days, late January is the target date. Had they gone along for their full 9 months, that's when they were originally supposed to go home, and where everything should be completely developed up to a point where they should be safe enough to go home. So everybody's keeping their fingers crossed.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Doug Starter reporting live from Des Moines. Well, what are some of the medical challenges facing septuplets? Well, in 28 minutes, we're going to run through the first few crucial days of life after a high-risk, multiple premature birth. And on the 9 line tonight, call and give Bobby and Ken McCoy your advice on taking care of 8 children. They have a 2-year-old also. The number to call is 946-1234. Once again, the 9-line number is 946-1234. And we'll play your comments throughout our newscast.
Up next on 9 at 9, normally lost dogs aren't news, but there's a lost dog in Savage that's making big news. I'm Elizabeth Costello. I'll have that story coming up.
Saddam Hussein calls today a victory. President Clinton calls it suspicious. More firepower is on the way.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Northern Lights. Northern Lights.
Naming Minnesota's new hockey team. They're voting on it. And now you can too.
You just think wonderful thoughts and they lift you up.
The Children's Theater Company is taking the wraps off its gift for the holidays. I'll have my review of this world premiere version of Peter Pan.
Police believe there's a family from St. Louis Park on the run tonight.
The father is in jail accused of murdering one of the children. Now 2 other kids have disappeared with their mother. Tom Lydon has that story.
There are secrets behind the smiles of 2-year-old Harmony Jones and her 5-year-old half-brother Cody. Secrets kept in this house where their 5-month-old baby sister, Promise, died on Sunday. Secrets hidden in the red tape of child protection. Tonight, police and prosecutors want to talk to the children themselves. First, they have to find them.
It appears to us that the family is hiding the whereabouts of the children from law enforcement.
The father, John Wesley Jones, remains behind bars tonight. Detectives believe he murdered the baby, but can't prove it. And now police believe the mother and paternal grandparents are on the run with the kids and may even pose a danger to them.
The concern arises in part from the prior history of this family within the child protection system.
That history remains confidential under state law. In fact, prosecutors needed a special court order for the little they did say tonight in a hastily arranged press conference. Criminal records show John Jones once abused his stepson, Cody, spanking him with a metal spoon, causing bruises. That charge was plea bargained down to misdemeanor 5th-degree assault. A year later, he was accused of beating his wife. Case dismissed after she refused to testify. He was charged with beating his wife again earlier this year. And there appears to be more. At several times, prosecutors intimated they'd like to say more, but can't.
Call the St. Louis Police Department and make arrangements to surrender custody of these children. Doing so would be in the best interest of the children, as well as, well, let me just say, doing so would be in the best interest of all involved.
If you have information on the whereabouts of Harmony and Cody, you're asked to call the St. Louis Park Police Department at this number, 924-2618. And there were some unusual court maneuvers behind the scenes today with this case. First, Hennepin County Judge John Stanek authorizing the release of the children's pictures that you saw right there, and ordering Child Protection to take custody of the kids when they're found. Also, a judge granted a second extension for filing murder charges against the father. Prosecutors now have until Monday afternoon. Jeff?
Tom, you mentioned the confidentiality. It seems like a difficult position for authorities that they can't share more of what they know.
It is, Jeff, and they truly want to say more. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman wants to open up those records. So is the head of County Child Protection. The legislature just won't let them do it. We'll have more on that whole issue tonight at 10.
Okay, we'll talk to you then. Thanks, Tom. Well, 5 children wound up in the hospital after a car pulled in front of a school bus today. Minneapolis police say the driver of the bus from Lincoln Elementary had no chance to avoid the car as it made a left-hand turn onto Olson Memorial Highway from Logan Avenue. The 5 children were taken to Hennepin County Medical Center and eventually treated and released for minor injuries. The driver of the car was ticketed for that accident. A lost dog usually gets a few lines in the classified section of the paper, but there's a lost dog in Savage making headlines.
He's a golden retriever named Jason, and as Elizabeth Costello reports, Jason is worth more than most of us can imagine.
Brian Clegg's holding on extra tight to Surfer's leash. Extra tight because Surfer's friend Jason got away 2 days ago.
And when I was out walking Jason, what happened was, as we were playing and out walking, it got tangled up, and Jason got tangled up in the leash, and it got around his legs and around his tail like this, and it made him very nervous, and he fell over, and when he got up, he bolted away.
Jason took off up this road behind the Clegg's house. He hadn't been seen for almost 2 days until a woman driving to work this morning says she thought she saw him about a half mile down this road at the intersections of County Road 42 and 13. Normally, a missing dog wouldn't make much news, but Jason is different. He's a show dog, showy enough for even the Savage Police Department to get involved.
Normally we don't pay a lot of attention to a lost dog. You know, we help look, but this dog is estimated at a value of $60,000, which makes it a little bit unusual and a unique situation.
$60,000. A lot of money for a dog, but not money anyone but the owners could collect on.
That registration number, which is tattooed to him, it would be traced back automatically to the owners of the dog. Plus, he has what's called a Home Again implant chip that's in his neck area, and anytime he's taken into a veterinarian or into a shelter, their machines will automatically pick up the fact that he has one of these chips, and that once again would trace him immediately back to the owner.
Jason's owner actually lives in Ohio. The Cleggs are professional handlers. They train and show dogs from around the world.
Hopefully he hasn't gotten wet. If he's fallen in a pond and he's gotten wet, and he's getting hungry by now. Of course, he's had a couple of days without eating, so he would be a little weaker.
Jason had only been in Minnesota for a couple of hours. One of the reasons he doesn't know his way automatically to the Cleggs.
Okay, guys, you're going home. Home? Oh, yeah, you're going home. Home.
But if the real world is anything like the movies, Jason already could be homeward bound. The question is, to whose home?
We kind of hope that he's just standing there at the end of somebody's driveway, kind of looking at him going like, you know, can you take me home?
If Jason's scratching on your back door tonight, the Cleggs are hoping you can take him in and call the Savage Police Department. That number is 882-2600. That's 882-2600. He's a friendly guy, and you don't have to be afraid. Robin.
Well, Liz, I know they said that the dog has the chip in his neck, but were there any tags at all on the dog?
Well, the leash was left on him when he ran away. I mean, he was still attached to the leash, so that may still be on him, although they're not sure, you know, if it is or not. The only other tag was the tattoo on the inside of his leg, and that should be identifiable as well. So you really should be able to tell that this is the golden retriever that's missing if you do find it.
Okay, let's hope there's a good Samaritan out there that's going to return him.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Liz.
Sure.
Well, in the Middle East tonight, Saddam Hussein would call it a victory.
Next, victory or not, there's more U.S. firepower on the way to the Gulf, just in case Saddam changes his mind again.
Then approval for a drug that heals bones without increasing the risk of breast cancer in older women.
We are all individuals, with individual tastes and individual preferences. That's why Jeep Cherokee offers more four-wheel drive choices than anyone in its class. With a choice of models and 2 fully capable four-wheel drive systems, there's a Cherokee perfectly suited to your individual needs. So get into the vehicle as individual as you are. Jeep Cherokee. Now lease a 98 Cherokee and get all this at no extra charge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
This Saturday, athletes will try to make the right call in hopes of becoming champions in the 1997 Minnesota State High School League Prep Bowl on UPN 9. And you can make the right call, too. Open a First Bank home equity installment loan and receive a long-distance calling card with 60 minutes of airtime. So make the right call and watch the 1997 Prep Bowl on UPN 9. Brought to you by First Bank, premier partner of the Minnesota State High School League.
Nearly 40,000 Minnesota kids go to bed hungry every night. If this keeps you awake, give to the Minnesota Holiday Hunger Relief.
Please join the 19,000 Minnesotans of Northwest Airlines and other generous people in our all-out effort to fight hunger in Minnesota. Thank you.
Give to the Minnesota Holiday Hunger Relief wherever you see this little bag, or call 1-800-252-6988.
20th Century Fox presents the most anticipated film of the year. Critics are hailing it a modern masterpiece.
Can you believe it?
A magical musical wonder.
You hear that, child?
Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. Michael Nedved awards it 4 stars. And Rex Reed says it will leave everyone cheering.
You know, he's right.
Anastasia.
I tell you what, wow.
Rated G. Tomorrow, only in theaters.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count. now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
Your Chevy's ready. Get it at your Heartland Chevrolet dealers now.
Closed captioning of Minnesota 9 News is made possible in part by Medica.
In our global file tonight, England is celebrating a wedding anniversary fit for a king and a queen. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip took a second trip down the aisle to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. The service is the largest gathering of European royalty since the Queen's coronation back in 1953. By the way, Queen Elizabeth is only the second British monarch in history to reach a golden wedding anniversary. The first was King George III and Queen Charlotte, and they reached the milestone back in 1811.
The morning rush hour came to a grinding halt for passengers on 2 New York City subway cars. 75 people were injured when a train moving less than 10 miles an hour rear-ended another train at a Long Island subway station. More than 1,000 people were on board at the time of the crash. Most of the injuries weren't serious, but almost 36 people were taken to the hospital.
The worst injuries, as I said, were a cardiac condition for a woman who was 60. There may be someone with a broken with a broken arm. Some people had bloody noses, and then a lot of people complaining of back pain and neck pain.
Both trains received only minimal damage, and no word yet on the exact cause of that crash. Alan Quist is putting his name on the ballot to be governor of Minnesota, and he's hoping the run is sweeter the second time around. The conservative Republican got the party endorsement back in 1994, but lost to Governor Carlson in the primary. Quist says he'll make education reform the central theme of his campaign.
Minnesota's NHL team has a name tonight. Well, actually, it has 6 names. The team announced the 6 finalists at St. Paul Johnson High School. 8,000 fans submitted more than 13,000 names. Now, they are Minnesota Blue Ox, the Freeze, Northern Lights, Voyagers, White Bears, and Wild. Now, you can cast your vote for one of the 6 with Minnesota Hockey NHL by mail at 444 Cedar Street, St. Paul, 55165, or fax the team at 222-1055. Now, after the news conference, we asked some of the kids what they thought.
I don't know, probably Northern Lights.
And beginning now and running through Monday, we want you to call our 9-line news poll with your choice for the hockey team. Again, the 6 names are the Blue Ox, the Freeze, Northern Lights, Voyagers, White Bears, and the Wild. And to vote, just call the 9-line at 946-1234 and enter category 1996. The poll runs 24 hours a day, and we will have the results on Monday night. The crisis with Iraq is over for now.
Yeah, United Nations weapons inspectors, including Americans, will be allowed back into the Persian Gulf nation. But President Clinton isn't saying the tensions with Saddam Hussein are resolved. Here's CNN's Wolf Blitzer.
The White House claims it got what it wanted, the unconditional return of UN weapons inspectors, including 6 Americans. But for President Clinton, the crisis with Iraqi President Saddam Hussein is not over.
In the coming days, we will wait and see whether he does, in fact, comply with the will of the international community.
Despite the announcement of an agreement in Geneva, Mr. Clinton has ordered the U.S. military buildup in the Gulf to continue. His aides say the Iraqis caved in at no cost to the United States.
There's absolutely no understanding, there's no deal, there's no concessions.
But neither does Saddam Hussein appear to have paid much of a price for his 3-week defiance of the UN. Indeed, he's emerged with one major gain, a new commitment from Russia, a permanent member of the UN Security Council with veto authority, to press for a lifting of UN economic sanctions against Iraq.
That is an understanding between Russia and Iraq. It is not binding on us or on the UN.
U.S. officials say they fully expect Russia to launch a new campaign to ease those sanctions. In opposing that, the U.S. for now can count only on Britain, though the White House is threatening to use the American veto if necessary. Russia can probably count on France, China, and much of the Arab world.
There has been a sort of a long-term cost to the U.S. because this coalition that we had been operating with since 1990 and 91 has clearly cracked.
In the meantime, the White House is pointedly refusing to praise Russia's diplomatic initiative, which U.S. officials say was at least partially motivated by potential economic gain. Some U.S. officials even suspect Iraq may have quietly conspired with Russia to cook up this entire crisis, to get the issue of sanctions to the forefront, and to make Russia look good. but they admit they can't prove that. Wolf Blitzer, CNN, the White House.
And the weapons inspectors should be back in Iraq doing their jobs tomorrow. Well, coming up next, the buzz on what to do this weekend in the Twin Cities.
Of all the great conveniences found in America's best-selling minivan, here's one you rarely get to enjoy, a very generous $1,000 cash back on Grand Caravan. Or you can choose this Dodge Caravan, which includes all this at no extra charge. And after $750 cash back, the price drops to an exceptionally low $17,245. But hurry, because numbers this good get carried away rather quickly. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
This is a battery. It has positives, it has negatives. The positives, it makes your car go. The negatives, there are no negatives. Not if you come to NTB, National Tire and Battery. We sell diehards, the most preferred name in batteries since, well, who knows? Give us a buzz. Think positive. NTB, National Tire and Battery. We're everything you want, nothing like you'd expect.
The following blood types are needed by the Memorial Blood Center of Minneapolis. If you can help, please call 871-3300. Blood Watch is a community service of UPN 9 and your Better Buick dealers.
Thanks for the truck, Dad.
What'd you do?
Not much.
Where'd you go? Kurtz? We still talking about moving that old barn?
Nope.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Had a scratch?
Nope.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
As a kid, it seemed the only way to get through dinner was to think about the pie. Well, now, at Baker Square, you'll find an entire menu that's just as delicious as our world-famous pies. So the journey through dinner is just as pleasant as the final destination. Baker Square, where you get a good deal, great food, and unbelievable pie.
The luxurious Lexus ES 300. All the security and comfort you're looking for at a price that most only dream of. At Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood today.
All aboard, you orphan riders. These driving wheels got a job to do.
Here's a slice of Minnesota history on stage in St. Paul. The Orphan Train is the story of homeless children who were sent by rail from New York to Minnesota in the early 1900s. And when the show opened Saturday at the Great American History Theater, a handful of people who came to Minnesota on an orphan train will be in the audience.
Are you ready, you orphan riders? Your hearts are blind. Stay close by me.
I knew that we came from New York in a train, but my sister came first, and she kept saying all the time, "I've got a little brother," because she knew me in the orphans home. She always said, "I have a little brother and I want him," you know. And then they checked back and they found out that I didn't. And I came on a train later, and I had a brother, and he was adopted by another family in our town, and sort of grew up with him though. Too bad my brother and sister couldn't be here because they're passed on now.
Freedom train, you orphan riders, gonna carry you on where it's never been.
The actor with that great baritone voice is J. Nathan Thomas. Orphan Train runs through December 28th at the Great American History Theater in St. Paul. The buzz is that this singer-songwriter is on the verge of something really big. Martin Sexton's been compared to Van Morrison, James Taylor, and Ray Charles. And now he's about to sign with a major label. Now, if you like what you hear, you can see him tomorrow night at the Cedar Cultural Center. And he could be playing at Northrop Auditorium next time.
Take all my old fantasies and in the center
singing hey, hey, hey. I'm thinking about Sands on the wind.
They'll like Jeff Buckley, too. And once again, Martin Sexton tomorrow night at the Cedar Cultural Center. And one of the best concert pianists in the world is at Orchestra Hall for 3 nights. Alicia de la Roca has won 4 Grammys, and she's been performing since 1929, when she was just 6 years old. Alicia de la Roca is at Orchestra Hall tonight through Saturday. The holidays are kicking into high gear in the Twin Cities, and here are some things to check out in our weekend family calendar.
3, 2, 1, boom!
St. Paul turns on the lights Friday. Bert and Ernie will be there. A laser light show is at 5:55. The official lighting at 6:15. St. Paul is asking everyone to bring and donate a children's picture book.
It's the most wonderful time.
While you're in St. Paul, check out the Festival of Trees at First Trust Center. Family Day is Sunday.
Much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when love.
Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle. There'll be a holiday kingdom at Como Zoo every Friday night till Christmas. There'll be lights, music, and Santa.
Hey, jingle bells, jingle.
You can see or buy 10,000 trains at the Great American Train Show. It's Saturday and Sunday at River Center in St. Paul. And the 7th Annual Coffee Festival is Saturday at Calhoun Square. $5 buys a coffee festival mug and a taste of some great Joe.
It's time for a jolt of gossip, so here's the hot dish.
Chances are slim that Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow will reunite. We hear Brad's got a new love, a 31-year-old director from Germany. Someone saw them holding hands at the German premiere of 7 Years in Tibet. Michael Jackson is making it official. Mrs. Jackson is expecting again. He doesn't live with the mother of his child, but he says they do spend time together watching cartoons and playing with the baby. Here's a strange threat. Kevin Costner says the royal family might end up regretting it if it continues to deny that Diana talked to him about starring in a film. Costner says it happened, and if Kensington Palace says it didn't, he might have to talk more about something he's kept quiet for a long time.
You know what Michael calls his new baby? And you're wondering, aren't you? Applehead. That's
Thanks,
his nickname.
Dad.
That's his nickname for his kid. Applehead. Sign of affection there, huh? That's the buzz. Now, when we come back, the babies McCoy are doing fine tonight, but we'll look at the medical hurdles they will face growing up. Plus, the boy who never grew up, the high-flying Peter Pan at the Children's Theater. Is it a holiday treat? We're going to find out tonight's theater review in 20 minutes. Joey.
Cloudy and cold again today, and I think I've used that one a few times this week already, but it's the same kind of deal. We actually have some snow in the forecast. Maybe enough to shovel. I'll tell you when. Coming up in just a bit. Stick around.
Who could forget the winter storms that stopped everything cold? Corporate America, the United States Post Office, even our government. Everything that is except Da Vinci's Pizzeria.
This is crazy.
Which had enough sense to drive the unstoppable legendary Jeep Grand Cherokee. For only $359 a month, you should too. After all, history has a way of repeating itself.
What a lousy tip.
Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Who says giants don't roam the earth? Whales, a film that almost splashes you in the face with its energy and beauty. Now playing at the Science Museum's Omni Theater, sponsored by US West. Open Tuesday through Sunday, daytime and evening shows.
Anyone else have anything interesting happen this week? Gary?
I won the Powerball.
Now, Gary, the real you is good enough.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
No, I'm serious. We've all been there.
Gary, all right, shall we move on?
Attention, there's a really cool red convertible in the parking lot with its lights on.
Powerball. It could happen.
Catch Minnesota 9 News at 9 when you're on the go with live radio simulcasts every weeknight on WMNN Radio, 1330 AM.
I would just like to say a very big congratulations and good luck. The most I can say is, well, having a 2-year-old, I hope the 2-year-old's not going through the terrible twos right now, but get a lot of sleep, a lot of sleep for those, and stay strong, don't get stressed out. And good luck.
Thanks for calling. The president says he's worried about health care in America.
So now he's pushing for reform. He's calling it the Bill of Rights for Patients. An estimated 50 million Americans are members of HMOs or other managed health care plans, and the Patient's Bill of Rights will have an impact on all of them.
This is a case where the national interest must prevail over the narrow interest, where the family's interest must prevail over the fear of change.
The proposal is designed to give consumers more clout in choosing and dealing with HMOs.
We have to make sure it's not inferior care. There are basic standards that I believe every American should be able to count on.
Mr. Clinton's plan will give patients easier access to treatment, a new way of appealing disputes with insurance companies, and more information when choosing providers and doctors.
I didn't basically have any choice. They just assigned me.
I fully agree with wanting to know more information about the doctors that do treat me.
Now it's just like a random pick.
Some of the proposals that need congressional approval might run into trouble with Republicans opposed to government regulation. But with complaints about the quality of health care on the rise, the wishes of the American people may see the plan into action. And the rights were drawn up by a task force made up of doctors, patients, and insurance company executives.
There's a new drug that seems to offer the best of both worlds for women fighting the effects of menopause. It's called raloxifene. And doctors say it acts like estrogen in some parts of the body, like your bones and the heart, but not in other parts of the body, like breast tissue. The testing showed it to be especially effective in fighting bone loss or osteoporosis.
This is an agent that doesn't increase the risk of breast cancer and actually appears to reduce the risk of breast cancer and protect against bone loss.
Eli Lilly will sell the drug under the name brand Evista. A baby girl who at birth weighed about as much as a can of soda is home tonight.
It's amazing. She was born August 1st in Chicago and tipped the scale at only 12 ounces.
She's hungry.
Little Tasiah Howard now weighs about 4 pounds, enough to go home with her mother for the first time. She is the second smallest baby ever to go home from the hospital. And the successful birth of the McCoy septuplets, all born over 2 pounds, was just the first obstacle faced by the Iowa family. CNN's medical correspondent Dr. Steve Salvatore looks at what will happen in the weeks and months to come.
Some of the greatest challenges facing the McCoy septuplets will be in the first 24 to 48 hours after birth. Doctors will be closely monitoring the baby's blood pressure to check for possible shock, and they'll be checking the blood count for anemia. They will also be monitoring blood gases to make sure the lungs are providing adequate oxygen. As the days progress, feeding becomes a concern. Frequently, the mother's breast milk is not ready, so a special formula is given to the babies through feeding tubes placed in their stomachs. Another potential complication is bleeding into the brain. The vast majority of these episodes occur within the first 24 to 48 hours. Some can be severe and others can be more mild. In mild cases, the child may have no residual problem at all, but severe cases can lead to serious brain injury. Other possible complications include a potentially fatal intestinal problem, kidney problems, water loss, and the inability to stabilize body temperature. Eye problems can also occur, which can eventually lead to blindness, and the biggest concern, infection, due to an immature immune system. Neonatologists agree the bigger the babies are at birth, the better their chances for survival. If the McCoy septuplets' birth weight is any indication, the babies may do just fine. Dr. Steve Salvatore, CNN reporting.
The well-wishers for the Iowa couple tonight include President Clinton. He placed a 5-minute call from the Oval Office talking to both Bobby and Kenny McCoy, that is, and Clinton called them the most watched parents in America, and he invited them to the White House as soon as they could find a stroller that carries 7. You know, they've had a bunch of gifts sent in from them from all over.
Oh, yeah.
If there isn't a stroller that holds 7, there's somebody out there working on it right now.
You know
probably
they
send
are.
It to them.
One that's like a double-decker and then like a little patch on the back.
And I think for Mom or Dad's sake, it better have a little motor on it, too.
Oh, they're going to need it. They're going to need it. They're going to be exhausted.
Yeah, well, more power to them.
Yeah, well, if you're not ready for babies, you're not ready for snow, you better get ready for both. Meteorologist Jody Giovanni with the details next. Plus, the family survival kit with what to keep from your kids this Christmas. But first, why don't you go ahead and keep an eye on the news menu.
I inspect used cars at Saturn. It's a lot like fishing. You just got to know where to look, test your lights. Also like to look at the drive belt here. I like my hands to get dirty. That way I know that I've actually done some work. I'm very surprised at what people leave in the cars. Not too much as food, it's more like breath mints that we find. Actually, I found a penny. How about that? Maybe you'll find a pit bull every once in a while. Found this in a 91 Camry. I inspect Hondas, some Mitsubishi. I can't even say that one. But I always treat them like it's a Saturn. A used car is a new car to the person who's buying it.
Long before the sun rises, the dough is rising at Perkins. Before you roll out, we do. While you're waking up, you'll love what we're baking up. Nice and flaky all day long. Enjoy this Thanksgiving by letting us prepare your favorite pie. Reserve ahead of time and pick up your pies as late as Thanksgiving Day. There's always something new cooking at Perkins.
Tradition continues on UPN 9 with the 1997 Prep Bowl.
I'm Minnesota 9 News Sports Director Jeff Grayson. It's a full day of football live from the Metrodome.
Kicking off with 9-man Saturday at 8 a.m. It's undefeated Cromwell against Ferndale. Then Saturday night, Eden Prairie goes for its 2nd consecutive championship.
The 1997 Prep Bowl, all day Saturday on UPN 9. Brought to you in part by First Bank, premier partner of the Minnesota State High School League.
Guess the plows missed this road. Good thing we're in this sport ute. Okay, she'll slow down, pull the lever, and clunk. We're in 4-wheel drive nirvana. Come on, take me there now. Well, what's she waiting for? Why isn't she pulling the lever? Slow down and pull the lever. Hello?
Relax. The Oldsmobile Bravada's got the exclusive Smart Track system. It automatically reacts to changing road conditions. No levers, no buttons, no need to worry.
I feel like I'm talking to myself.
The new Bravada. It knows the road.
It's the big one. The biggest one-day sale of the season is happening at Kohl's this Saturday only at 7 a.m. For big savings, get to the big one and save 20 to 50% on thousands of items throughout the store. Plus early bird specials from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. So bring your card and get ready to save. It's huge. It's gigantic. It's the big one at Kohl's. This Saturday, 7 a.m. till midnight.
Brought to you by Kohl's.
In the Twin Cities, we're looking at more clouds. Actually, a few breaks if you're going out there right now. Mostly cloudy skies are going to cover it as we go through the night, and we're going to keep the cloud cover in there for the day tomorrow. I'm going to watch out for these planes coming in overhead there. Here's another one coming in for landing. 29, the high temperature for the day. We saw that a little bit earlier, and our temperature has gone up over the last hour or so. We're back up there now. 23. The low temperature for this morning. And as far as snowfall, just a trace here in the Twin Cities, some very light flurries falling early on in the day. Right now in the metro, there's our 29 degrees under cloudy skies, dew points at 22, humidity 75% with a light north wind and a steady barometer from 30.01. We've got a decent range of temperatures around the state, at least from the stations that are reporting right now. We have 9 above into Thief River Falls for the cold spot. There's our 29 here in the Twin Cities. We're hanging on for the warmer spot. We have some teens showing up in between for Bemidji and also as you get into the Brainerd area. Now, as far as what we're looking at for low temperatures tonight, I'm thinking here in the metro we're going to drop off to right around 20 degrees or so, about 17 to 22 heading up to the north. Temperatures there will be dropping off into the teens. So actually our low temperature for a change is going to be close to normal, close to where it should be for this time of the year. But we continue our string of our high temperature being below the normal for each day of the month of November. Once again, we did it today here across the Twin Cities, and not a whole lot of relief in sight until maybe on Monday. We'll start seeing our temperatures climbing up there into the beginning of next week. Cloud cover, well, a lot of it around the area right now. A few breaks every now and again as you get up into the northwestern part of the state, up toward Thief River Falls. Maybe a couple of breaks up there. More cloud cover to our west. We have another little low pressure area that's going to be zipping by over the next 24 hours, and that's going to bring us a shot at some snow. Probably this time tomorrow night we'll have some accumulating snow falling as we're on the air here. Now, what's going on right now, low pressure down to our south, a little bit of fog around that low as you get into parts of Iowa. Looking at some rain on the warm side of things from Missouri up into the southern part of the Great Lakes. Lower Michigan seeing some rain. The northern part of lower Michigan seeing a little bit of snow earlier today as they had some of that cold air coming in right behind the front. Our next little storm system is not even on the map. It's way up there. Watch that right along the front. It's going to come zipping down right along the front. Here it comes now. And this time tomorrow, it's going to start moving into the Dakotas. Ahead of it, there'll be some snow flying, maybe starting out as some flurries, maybe some light snow late tomorrow afternoon. I'm thinking the light snow more than likely will develop as we get into the evening hours tomorrow, but maybe a slick commute on the way home. So just keep that one in mind for tomorrow afternoon. This area of low pressure is going to continue riding right along that front. So by the time all is said and done, by the time we get into Saturday, maybe as much as 1 to 3 inches of snow may fall here across the Twin Cities. So what a nice way to start the weekend, huh? And that snow is going to taper off as we go through the morning hours of Saturday. As far as our high temperatures are going tomorrow, into the 20s for the northern part of the state. Here in the Twin Cities should be right around 30 degrees or so. About 27 to 32, 28 to 33, right around there. Some 40s off to the west, and actually we have a temperature around 40 degrees showing up in our forecast, and we'll show you that over the next minute or so. Tonight, nothing in the 40s, mostly cloudy, low temperature dropping off to 17 to 22 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe some flurries developing in the afternoon, maybe a little light snow too. 27 to 32 for the high temperature there. Then tomorrow night, light snow develops, and we'll see a low dropping off to 20 to 25 degrees. It should start to accumulate tomorrow night and also into the early part of Saturday. Then we'll come to an end, maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulating, 28 to 33 degrees the high on Saturday. And your outlook now, temperatures in the upper 20s for Sunday and Monday. We should be dry. And I talked about temperatures close to 40. That looks like Tuesday. We'll see a high into the upper 30s, and it should still be dry for the beginning of next week. And here's your sky pic tonight from Northfield. Andrew Soderland, 7 years old. Snow is falling in the picture. He's out walking the dog, and we have snow in the forecast too. And Andrew's saying hi. So we'll say hi back to Andrew.
Any projections for Thanksgiving? My
Thanksgiving, a week away from now. I'll have to take a look and get back to you at 10 o'clock.
Yes, I had nothing to do with it, Ma. You know,
I'll bet you it'll be cold.
Cold?
It's been cold every day.
I'll let you know at 10. I'll just throw a sneak peek in there. So incentive for you to watch that one.
Well, thanks, Joe.
Sure.
I love it. Time now to head to the newsroom with Angela Hampton.
Yeah, she's got the stories we're working on for 10. Angela?
Well, it has been special delivery after special delivery for the proud parents of the septuplets. First, the babies themselves. Now, the non-stop gifts, including a brand new car from the Iowa dealership where Dad works. The McCoys even got a phone call from the White House. Hear what the president had to say and much more in our live report from Des Moines. Also, why the Coast Guard deliberately crashed into another boat. And they may not admit it to your face, but now many moms are saying they're guilty. Guilty of what, you ask? Well, find out at 10. We'll see you in about 17 minutes.
Okay.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
And coming up next, join Wendy and the Lost Boys for the newest version of Neverland at the Children's Theater. Our critic, Alan Beck, reviews Peter Pan when we come right back.
We've changed quite a lot. Announcing the 1998 Lincoln Continental for just $429 per month. This front-wheel drive 32-valve V8 luxury sedan is redesigned and redefined with enhanced styling, comfort, ride, and traction. We've changed virtually everything, maybe even your mind. See your Lincoln dealer to purchase a lease Continental. The new Continental from Lincoln. What a luxury car should be.
This was my husband's favorite chair. He used to sit here every night watching TV, eating chips. But I guess the inactivity finally caught up to him, because now he's gone. Actually, he's out riding his bike.
Honey, want to go for a walk?
Only one health plan has 23 programs to help reduce your risk for heart disease.
This program has me feeling great!
There's a reason we're called Health Partners.
Had a new bed, a nightstand too, handcrafted beauty design for you. Accentuate your bedroom. Come home to Schneiderman.
For charm, for style, for the dramatic, it's Thomasville. For value, it's Thomasville at Schneiderman's. Our selection of Thomasville collections is the best, and you deserve the best from Thomasville.
Accentuate your bedroom. Come home to Schneiderman's. Yeah.
With Plymouth, this is what you pay for, and this is what you get. For instance, Plymouth Voyager. You get standard air conditioning, car-like handling, easy out-roller seats, and more. And this is what you pay at $17,245. It's the lowest price minivan. One more time. This is what you pay for, and this is what you get. Get up to $1,000 cash back on select Plymouth minivans. See your Plymouth dealer today.
The best advice to give to that couple is lots of love, lots of prayer, and to stick by each other no matter what, because they're going to need it.
Well, I think you should have a lot of time and energy for these kids and a lot of patience, otherwise you won't have time for your kids.
Well, thanks for calling.
The Iowa version of the Seven Dwarfs.
I know, they've got them all, boy. And you know what? We have children's stories this evening, and Alan doesn't often do this, but he got to go to the children's theater.
Oh, and what a treat it was. Peter Pan, this is and is not the Peter Pan you know. Not Disney, not the old Mary Martin musical. This is a whole new take on the classic book. This Peter Pan goes beyond the music and the magic to capture a very fragile moment in every life. Longing to leave the nest and not quite sure what this flying thing is all about.
Well, let's make a train! Train, all aboard! All aboard! Here we go! Here we go!
Well, they aren't called the Darling family for nothing. They are storybook precious and perfectly precocious. There's a lot of talent in the Darling children, but can they fly? Hold on.
You just think wonderful thoughts and they lift you up.
Before you can say Neverland, they're off. Off to the adventure of their lives. Acrobatic savages, the fearsome ticking crocodile, maidens to be rescued, and of course, villains get the hook.
Trusty captain, I'm setting my ways.
The hook plans and plots, captures and kidnaps.
Boy, no, Peter, it's a trap!
Peter and the Lost Boys frolic and fight, but the heart of this Peter Pan is really about love and loss, and learning that separation is the price of great adventure. Even the very young kids were attentive last night. The music, lighting, sets, the special effects are a treat, and we get wonderful performances even in secondary roles. Charity Jones, an alluring Tiger Lily. Dean Holt, the bungling pirate Smee. And Corey Von Aiken as the adorable Michael.
And a boy just like me.
And congratulations to the Children's Theater for its commitment to its child actors. Carl Baker Olson gives us Peter Pan as a real boy in a way no adult could capture.
You won't remember, will you? I'll always remember.
Yeah, and your kids will always remember, too. At one point, Toodles, one of the Lost Boys, shoots down the Wendy bird and then brags about how proud Peter will be. And the clever 6-year-old behind me pipes up, "Oh, no, he won't." That says a lot about this show and about this theater company. CTC really is one of the treasures of the Twin Cities.
And you know you've got a good production when you got the kids in the audience reacting.
And even young kids. I mean, there were 2- and 3-year-olds there who were really into this show.
Well, you know, the crocodile is always pretty scary. Any ones that are a little afraid, you could hear them scream?
They really go easy on that eat 'em up kind of thing. It's easy to take. This is good. You can take the little ones.
Okay, 2 cigars. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Alan. Well, if you need to park at the airport, you might need to make alternative plans. But first, here's our plan for the next 40 minutes. So watch and stay tuned.
When
When you drive a new 98 GMC Jimmy with 190 horses and push-button four-wheel drive, you'll be ready for anything. Even a sudden snowfall.
Drop everything and take advantage of this low offer. Right now, get a 1998 Jimmy SLS for $309 per month for 36 months. See your GMC dealer today.
My son is dying, and the insurance company won't pay for his treatment.
I want to expose these people. For one young lawyer, the practice of law, better watch your back, has just become more dangerous.
Jury tampering, money laundering.
Are you scared?
Yeah, than anything he ever learned in school.
I advise you mind your manners. You're in the big water now.
John Grisham's The Rainmaker.
You in over your head, son? Absolutely.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 21st everywhere.
We're so busy slashing prices for our pre-holiday sale at Audio King, we've even hired a turkey to help out. Hurry in for great deals on items like this 19-inch TV for only $128. And this Technique stereo receiver only $98. Or buy any Mitsubishi audio or video product and get 0 down, 0 interest until $19.99 with approved credit.
So, I tail in an Audio King today. Ooh, man, I think I pulled a drumstick here. Oh, yeah.
Audio King, the ultimate electronics store.
Some say love comes with no guarantee. They're wrong, baby.
Arby's Roast Chicken Club. Love it after one bite or your money back.
Is he gonna be on that thing all night? Other people live here too, you know.
If the internet is keeping you from keeping in touch this holiday season...
Dweeb! Whatever he's up to, bet it's no good.
Here's an idea. How about an additional phone line just for your phone?
I knew it! He has no regard for other people's lives.
Call now for your additional line and we'll install it free. Nice better here, US West.
It's famous for hushing highways and reducing wind to a whisper. It's as comfortable and quiet as you want it to be. It's steering wheel mounted audio controls that let you live your life like a movie and score your own soundtrack. It's a 210 horsepower performance and you've got front row seats. It's the RL from Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours.
Well, my advice as a grandmother is to enjoy these babies every day that they're around because they will grow up, and you if you wait to enjoy them, you won't have done it, and they're worth enjoying.
Opening tonight's spreadsheet, several former employees are taking aim at Minneapolis-based Target stores. 3 store managers are suing the company, claiming that they were harassed, treated unfairly, and ultimately dismissed because they're African American.
The actions of Dayton Hudson and Target is systematic and continuous against African Americans. It's just a revolving door.
Target says the lawsuit has no merit and that the company prides itself on the diversity of its employees. If you plan on parking your car at the airport tomorrow, you might want to make other plans. The parking ramp at the main terminal is almost full. That means motorists have to wait at least 20 minutes for an open space. Airport officials are urging travelers to allow extra time for the wait or to have someone else drop them off. The parking crunch should ease up by tomorrow afternoon. The man with the most influence on our economy sounded a wake-up call for Social Security. Federal Reserve Board Chairman Alan Greenspan told senators they have to tackle problems with the system right now.
If we procrastinate too long, the adjustments could be truly wrenching. Our senior citizens, both current and future, deserve better.
Among Greenspan's suggestions to save Social Security, raise the retirement age, reduce cost of living increases, and privatize the system to let individuals invest their contributions. It is D-Day for teen smoking, plus unsafe for any child, the list Minnesota parents should have.
Here at Towsley Ford's exclusive van center, we are closing out every remaining 97 van in stock. We have the largest van selection in the upper Midwest. Over 100 vans available from Waldock, Universal, Explorer, and Tierra, with lease payments on new 97 conversion vans starting at just $289 a month plus tax. That's right, new 97 vans with rear air, heat, and many more extras starting at just $289 a month. At this low payment, they won't last long, so hurry to Towsley Conversion Van Center, White Bear Lake.
Because they are yours, you will do what you can to make it better for them. You will balance the instinct to protect with the knowledge that life is to be experienced. You will try to smooth their road, but you will not flatten it. You will allow the choices to be theirs. Because they are your children. They are your parents. They are you. Medica, helping you make better healthcare choices.
Want to be a better do-it-yourselfer? Learning how to do things the right way and the safe way is as easy as watching Car Care Seminar.
Saturday morning at 7:30.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
Your Chevy's ready. Get it at your Heartland Chevrolet dealers now.
Quarter Pounder with lettuce and tomato. This is big. This is not. Fresh, hot, juicy, delicious. Quarter Pounder with lettuce and tomato. Now just 99 cents. What could be better? Try a hot order of America's favorite fries and an icy Coke for another great extra value meal choice. Just $2.99. Did somebody say McDonald's?
The Dayton's Definite Rewards Program. Anytime your Dayton's card purchases total $500, you get 15% off regular prices for one day. All you have to do is choose the day. Ever wanted to create? Just spend $500 with your Dayton's card, and you'll get a reward for 15% off regular prices. In other words, you get to create your own sale. Definite rewards, only at Dayton's.
Who could forget the winter storms that stopped everything cold? Corporate America, the United States Post Office, even our government. Everything that is except Da Vinci's Pizzeria.
This is crazy.
Which had enough sense to drive the unstoppable legendary Jeep Grand Cherokee. For only $359 a month, you should too. After all, history has a way of repeating itself.
What a lousy tip.
Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Before you begin your Christmas shopping, a local consumer group would like to remind you to play it safe for your kids' sake. The Minnesota Public Interest Research Group says unsafe toys killed 13 children in the U.S. last year. Most were deaths from choking. The group reminds you to read all warning labels and avoid toys with small parts and sharp edges.
If a toy that's fun but unsafe turns into a fatality, that's just a needless tragedy. So we think that those can be avoided and kids can still have fun. I mean, we have a huge toy market. There are lots of toys out there. They don't have to be deadly in order to be fun.
Operation Safe Schools is underway in Minnesota, and it begins with free phones. AT&T and Ericsson Cellular are donating mobile phones to 50 Minnesota schools. The phones will be used in emergencies for faster communication with the proper authorities.
The phones will be assigned to various needed areas, including school buses, parking lot monitors, school security guards, and crossing guards and parents accompanying students on field trips.
The program costs the schools nothing. Ericsson donated the phones, and AT&T is providing a year of free airtime. It is D-Day in Minnesota. That's Don't Smoke Day, known across the country as the Great American Smokeout. It's when thousands of smokers promise to kick the habit, if only for a day. Here in Minnesota, kids are promising that they'll never start smoking.
How does holding a cigarette in my hand or having one hanging out of my mouth make me look any cooler or enhance my image? Do discolored fingernails, yellow teeth, black lungs, and red swollen gums make a person look good?
Good question. 70% of smokers say they want to quit, but they can't. Steph and Angela?
Okay. Thanks a lot, Robin.
See you guys.
Well, attend friends, family, even strangers rally behind an Iowa family and their new septuplets.
This is one of the most blessed events that